Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Defense inquiry raised allegation Robert Smith kicked prisoner off cliff, court told by Michaela Hitborn May 16, 2022, 5:54 p.m. Save login, register or subscribe to save articles for later. Share normal text size, larger text size, very large text size. A former elite soldier who served alongside Ben Robert Smith in Afghanistan has told the federal court that the first he learned of an allegation that the war veteran had kicked a prisoner off a cliff had been during a Defense Force inquiry. The former Special Air Service soldier, dubbed Person 32 to protect his identity, gave evidence on Monday backing Robert Smith in the decorated former soldier's defamation case against The Age, the Sydney Morning Herald and the Canberra Times. Ben Robert Smith outside the federal court in Sydney on Friday credit Kate Geraghty. He said he did not see Robert Smith breaking the rules of engagement that bound the SAS during deployments to Afghanistan in 2010 and 2012, and he denied Robert Smith had ever directed him to breach those rules. Robert Smith is suing the newspapers for defamation over a series of reports in 2018 that he says portray him as a war criminal who was involved in the unlawful killing of Afghan prisoners. Under the rules of engagement, prisoners could not be killed. The newspapers are seeking to rely on a defense of truth and have alleged Robert Smith was involved in 6 unlawful killings. The former soldier maintains any killings were carried out lawfully in the heat of battle. One of the newspaper's central allegations is that Robert Smith kicked an unarmed and handcuffed Afghan prisoner, Farmer Ali Jan, off a cliff in the village of Darwin in 2012 before the man was shot dead. The newspapers have called SAS and Afghan witnesses to support that account. But Robert Smith has told the court the man was a Taliban spotter reporting on the movements of coalition forces, who was a legitimate target killed in battle. A former SAS soldier dubbed Person 11 has supported that account and has given evidence that he shot at the man with Robert Smith. Person 32 told the court on Monday that he had been interviewed 3 times between 2017 and 2018 as part of an inquiry by the Inspector General of the Defence Force, IGADF, into allegations of misconduct and war crimes by Australian soldiers in Afghanistan. He said it was in the IGADF that he learned in 2017 of an allegation that Robert Smith had kicked a prisoner off a cliff in Darwin. Prior to 2017, were you aware of an allegation that Mr. Robert Smith had kicked a prisoner off a cliff during the mission to Darwin? Robert Smith's barrister, Arthur Moses, SC, asked. No, Person 32 replied. Earlier on Monday, Robert Smith lost a bid to overturn a preliminary decision in a separate federal court dispute with his estranged wife, Emma Roberts, and was ordered to pay her legal costs. Robert Smith launched proceedings last year against Roberts on the eve of the defamation trial, in a bid to find out if she had accessed confidential information in his email account and passed it on to the newspapers. Preliminary orders were made in the dispute in June last year requiring Roberts to deliver to the court any information she had obtained from the email account. Robert Smith subsequently sought further preliminary orders that Roberts be required to attend court to be cross-examined by his lawyer over her compliance with those orders, and that her close friend Danielle Scott and her husband be added to the proceedings. Those applications were rejected, and Justice Michael Whitney dismissed the application for leave to appeal against that decision on Monday. Whitney said Roberts did not appear to oppose the making of final orders to restrain her from using or disseminating any information from Robert Smith's email account, and it was likely, if not inevitable, that such orders would be made. It is in those circumstances difficult to see how it could be said that the refusal to make an order permitting Ms. Roberts to be examined in court could have any impact at all on the scope and outcome of the proceedings, he said. The trial continues. Thank you for reading the Herald. This article is complimentary. Register or log in now to read more articles and unlock extra benefits. No payment required. Read more. Continue with Google, continue with Apple, or email address. Continue by continuing. You agree to your personal information being collected under our privacy policy and accept our terms of use. Hide content.